session. I didn't actually notice that we were not live yet, so I have to make sure this time that we're actually on Facebook. One moment, please. Or let me check YouTube because it says streaming. Yeah, I think we are just on YouTube and we are not on Facebook. Yeah, there you go. Sir Bry, can we do it again, please? Let's just one moment. Okay, there you go. I can see it on Facebook now. So, it's a beautiful Thursday night. Our Filipino dreamers who would like to pursue their dream job in the United States of America. This is our third Facebook Live session featuring Phil Global Immigration Services Corporation. And I know for a fact that they have a lot of programs. But for this program, for tonight, we are going to talk about the study pathway to the United States of America. As you can see, there are some sorts of delays if you're going to consider the EB3 immigrant visa application because right now it's been 5 months since the last positive development. And for H-1B visa application, there's some sort of lottery. But for tonight, your application is not going to be affected by the retrogression of EB3 immigrant visa. And this does not have a lottery. That's why we are so fortunate that we have Miss Sandra Tenorio all the way from Florida, USA to talk about this one. Before that, I would like to reiterate that even if Miss Sandra is based in the United States of America, you can actually meet the representatives of Phil Global in person when you join our June 29 English Exams Expo at SM Mega Mall, Mega Trade One. So this is an event you should not miss, especially if you want to talk to the visa consultants in person. It's important that you attend tonight. You ask questions so that Miss Sandra can address them for you. But for further questions, and if you prefer that face-to-face consultation, then you are all invited to our event on June 29. By the way, that expo is totally free of charge. Free entrance, free one-on-one consultation, and free seminar. Please make sure to read the comment section. Use the QR code to register for free. For the other details, I'll just have to type them on the comment section. But now I'll turn you over to Miss Sandra Tenorio, who's going to focus on this presentation and tackle about pursuing your dream job in healthcare in the United States of America. Miss Sandra?
Thank you so much. Thank you to 9.0 Niner and thank you to Phil Global for bringing this amazing opportunity. And good morning from Miami, everybody. Like mentioned, my name is Sandra, and I'm going to talk to you about how you can do a Launchpad program at the comfort of your home, in this case in the Philippines, how that can get you ready to join a 12-month nursing program, and in addition to that, how we can also help you immediately land a job here in the United States where salaries are extremely um, very high for nursing, and nurses are in extremely high demand. So, if that interests you, if you're looking to change up your life and you're looking to understand how can you really go in just 1 year, making close to almost $100,000, then definitely stick around and you're going to find out how. So, thank you everybody for joining. So, let's go ahead and get started. Why nursing, right? If you've never thought about nursing and you're just a little bit curious, this is a perfect opportunity for you to really dive in and understand the massive opportunities that nursing has for you. One of those is meaningful work. Of course, the job title speaks for itself. Being a nurse, there's plenty of opportunity to really change the lives of a lot of people, and it's just really rewarding work as well. The second, and one of the most popular reasons that people choose a career in nursing, is the high paying potential. Just to kind of give you an idea, here in the United States, a medium salary for a nurse is approximately around $80,000. That's going to be to close to 4.5 million Filipino pesos. Now, when it comes to the high demand, there's tons and tons of high demand for nurses. So finding a job once you are fully certified and fully educated in that field is relatively easy. Flexible schedules, there's diverse opportunity, there's plenty of pathways to different type of opportunities in terms of the nursing, different types of nursing that you can do, and streamline immigration pathway, and we will talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about the Launchpad program. This is perfect for anybody who wants to be a nurse, but maybe you've never done any type of science courses, or you've never even studied nursing before. Maybe you have a bachelor's in art, right? But now you've realized I changed my mind and I want to go to nursing. So the Launchpad program is perfect for you if you really want to pursue nursing, but maybe you just need a little bit of help really being able to prepare you to join the program. So, what is the Launchpad program? The Launchpad program is exactly what that sounds like. It's a launch pad. It will prepare you to join the 12-month accelerated nursing program. 12 months go by really quickly, and it's going to be a really intense study program. I tell all my students, you are not going to have a life for those 12 months. For those 12 months, you're going to just be studying and focusing on your schoolwork and focusing on your exams and getting hands-on practice as being a nurse. It goes by really quickly, and there's a lot that's going to be packed in there. You're not really going to have time to go out and travel and do things, leisure travel. You will not do that. For those 12 months, your life is going to be around this nursing program. So the Launchpad prepares you mentally and prepares your coursework to be ready to do that nursing program in only 12 months. So we work with you to make sure that you meet all the prerequisites. Why is that important? Because the 12-month nursing program is going to go by really quickly, and you need to have a basic understanding of what's going to be covered in the coursework so you don't get lost. We also help you prepare and practice for your NCLEX exam. If you do not know what an NCLEX is, an NCLEX is a certification test that you will take after you are done with your accelerated nursing program. Literally, the day you pass your NCLEX, you can start working in the United States immediately, and we will help you with that. So you take your accelerated nursing program, you take your exam, and you can immediately start working. But we work with you and we give you practice tests to make sure that you are ready, and you do multiple practice tests, and you also do them during your Launchpad, so you start getting exposed to the NCLEX exam a year before you actually have to take it. So we are literally walking you along every step of the way. Now, in order to be able to apply, in order to get started, eventually you will need an English test of 6.5 in IELTS, but you don't need that immediately to apply. You can submit that later before the nursing program starts. But just know you will need an English test of at least 6.5 in IELTS to join. If you've never done one before, definitely reach out to 9.09er, and they will be able to set you up with that. We will also be asking for your transcripts and your CV, your resume. So this is what's included in the Launchpad program. When you apply to the nursing program, like I mentioned, we will need to see your current educational transcripts to understand what classes and what degrees do you have. You need to have at least a 2-year degree, such as an associate's degree. to be able to apply for this program. So if you are just a high school graduate, you cannot apply. You need to have some type of undergraduate degree. It can be in anything. It can be an undergraduate degree in nursing. It can be an undergraduate degree in fashion, anything, as long as you have an undergraduate degree. When you give us that undergraduate degree, we're going to look at your transcripts. And we will eventually ask you for the course description because we want to understand what kind of classes you took. Then we will compare. We will see at your transcripts and we will see your course descriptions, and we will compare to the prerequisites that is required. So some of you might have all of these prerequisites already, and you have already done this in the Philippines. If you do, congratulations, you don't need to do them again. But let's say maybe you have a bachelor's in fashion and you've never taken a science course before. You will most likely need every single one of these prerequisites. The great thing is that you can do these prerequisites online in the Philippines, and you can go at your own speed. So you can move as quickly as you want or as slow as you want with each of these classes. This is part of the Launchpad program because you need to have these prerequisite courses completed before you can join the 12-month accelerated nursing program. Okay? If you need every single one of these prerequisites, I have fantastic news for you. We do offer a $2,000 scholarship if you need every single one of them. But if maybe you just need one or two, then you would just be paying out of pocket around $600 or $800 depending on the course that you need. So again, you have to have all of these prerequisites in order to join the nursing program. If you do not have these prerequisites, it's okay. You can do it online and get ready to join the nursing program. So you have done your prerequisites. Here is what we need you in order to join the nursing program. Like I mentioned, you need to have completed an undergraduate degree of at least 2 years of undergraduate studies, and it can be in anything. You need to have a GPA, a combined GPA of 3.0 equivalent to US. Unfortunately, if you do not have a GPA of 3.0, you cannot be admitted. We have been receiving a lot of candidates, but their GPA has been on the lower side. So unfortunately, we've been having to turn a lot of people down. So GPA of at least 3.0 in order to join. Then you need to have your IELTS of at least 6.5, and I mentioned 9.09er can help you with that. But you have time. You don't need to give that to us immediately, as long as you give it to us before the 12-month accelerated nursing program. So you can work on getting that test during your Launchpad period. You need to have completed all of your prerequisites that I mentioned in my previous slide in order to join the program. And you need to pay a refundable deposit of $300. You will get these $300 back right before you join the 12-month accelerated program. So you pay the $300 during the Launchpad, and then after you complete your Launchpad, before you join the 12-month accelerated program, you get your money back. So technically there ends up being zero deposit, but we just need to make sure that candidates are very serious and they're taking their Launchpad serious, right? Because there's tests in there that we provide to you that ultimately are going to be free of charge. So that's what that $300 deposit is for, and then you will get that back right before your program. So right now, the 12-month accelerated nursing program. So you have done your Launchpad, you've completed all your prerequisites. Congratulations. What is next? Well, you will work with Field Global and we will get you to over here. We will get you to America. Oklahoma, to be specifically. The 12-month accelerated nursing program will take place in Oklahoma City. There you will get, like I mentioned, for 12 months is a lot of hands-on, really intense programming. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, you will not have time to go out and party, to go out and sightsee. You will be studying for those 12 months and you will be having a lot of hands-on, and your classes will be quite intensive for those 12 months. But after those 12 months, you will be ready to immediately hit the workforce. So let's talk about pricing. How much is this program going to cost? So the great thing is, if you have excellent GPA and you're a really good student in the past, congratulations, you qualify for almost a $17,000 scholarship. So for those students who GPA equivalent is 3.6 or higher, you will receive a merit scholarship of $17,250. That's huge. That's almost the cost of the entire program. So that means that you will end up paying $23,560 for everything for those 12 months of studying. This does not include living expenses. I want to be very clear about that. So you do have to budget additionally for your living expenses. But for 12 months, you will just have to pay $23,000. This is huge because at the beginning we mentioned that the average salary for a nurse in America is $80,000 for the first year. So that means in the first year of becoming a nurse, you would have already paid yourself back the $23,000. That is the amazing thing about being a nurse in the United States, is the salaries are so high. You get your investment because you are investing in yourself, right? You're investing in your future. You get your investment back that first year based on your salary. So really amazing opportunity. If you have a GPA between 3.3 and 3.9, well, congratulations, you qualify for $13,500 scholarship. So the program ends up being $27,000. If you just meet the minimum criteria of 3.0 and you have up to a 3.2 GPA, then you qualify for a scholarship of $9,750. So your program cost is $31,000. I do want to say, if you are not aware of education in the United States, it is very, very expensive. And I can tell you right now that we have literally been scouting the best and most affordable accelerated nursing programs in America, and this is literally one of them. The average 12-month accelerated nursing program in the United States starts at around $50,000 per year. So the fact that if you're a really good student and you have the opportunity to study in the United States, which is one of the most expensive because the kind of quality of education you're getting, plus the kind of employment opportunities, and you're getting that for literally 50% of the price for $23,000. So this is a really good opportunity to really maximize on that salary potential. Because the difference between being a nurse in America and being a nurse in Europe, being a nurse in Asia, being a nurse in Canada is going to be the salary. The salary is going to be a huge, huge difference. So if you can be a nurse in America, that is where you will maximize your salary potential. That's where you will earn the most income. So really good opportunity to join a program for almost 50% of what the average programs are going for in the US, and get your money back the first year by just a huge salary that you're going to be making. So that's what I mentioned about the US. if you are a nurse in the Philippines right now trying to find a job in America, that's a little bit more complicated as opposed to if you study in America and then try to find a job. That's in a lot more straightforward path. How does that look like? So the middle column is going to be what it looks like if you study a bachelor's of nursing in America. The column in my far right is going to be looking at what it looks like if you studied a Bachelor of Nursing outside of the US. So the first thing when you apply for a job in America is we're going to ask you for your credentials, your evaluation, your academic credentials evaluation. You need to provide that to us. If you study in the US, no one's going to ask you that. English test once you're in the US to get the job, it's usually waived, and to get the job is going to be required if you study outside. NCLEX in the US, it's going to cost you around $200. Outside of the US, depending where you take it, it's going to cost you at least $350. Visa, visa screening, the visa screen is going to be the same. The biggest difference is going to be the job placement. If you study a bachelor's in America, you can start working the day after you complete your NCLEX and pass, obviously. The day after you complete your NCLEX and pass, you can start working immediately. Why? Because in the US, where we already are working with very specific contracts. We have contracts with different hospitals throughout the United States. And these hospitals, they're working with their own immigration lawyers. And they need nurses. They need nurses immediately. So these hospitals will immediately take you on and they will hire you directly, and the immigration lawyer will start working with you to get your paperwork. And you know what? All of this will be free of charge to you. No one's going to charge you to get to help you get a job. I want to be very clear about this. No one is going to charge you to help you get a job, okay? You will be employed directly with the hospital. And because you're going to be working directly with the hospital is the one that's going to be sponsoring your visa, and they're the ones that are going to help you, get your paperwork for immigration and so forth. So it's a lot more straightforward. If you have a nurse's bachelor's outside of the US, you have to go by the timing of job, depends on immigration documents, credential evaluation, depends on how the hospital views your degree. I know when we first spoke, there was some talk about, there's a way, it's a lot more, it's not as straightforward. You're probably going to have to pay somebody to help you. It's different. And you might fall victim to giving half of your salary away. And I'll talk to you about in the next slide. So if you have the opportunity to study a bachelor's of nursing in America directly, you are going to save yourself a lot of headache and a lot of money down the line if you want to work and earn an income in the United States. So let's talk about contracts when you start working. Like I mentioned, we help you land a job directly with the hospital. We are not a job placement company, okay? We are not, going to be having access to your salary. We are not going to be touching your salary. We have nothing to do with your salary, okay? I want to be very clear about that. Now, there's a big difference when you are hired by a hospital versus when you are hired by an agency. We help you get hired by the hospital directly. We are not an agency. You are not going through us. We are not touching your salary. Again, that's really important to understand, because if you are interested in nursing, I'm sure you have come across agencies that that you are hired by the agency and that agency is paying you. That is not what we are doing. So what is the difference? When you are hired by a hospital, your salary is paid to you directly by the hospital. When you are hired by an agency, your salary is paid to you by that agency. Now, be very smart about this. There's nothing wrong if you decide that the agency route is the best option for you. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? It's just another option. Make sure you're choosing the right agency, but also be very aware of how much of the salary they're going to be paying you, because some agencies can take up to 50% of your salary when you are hired by an agency versus hired by the hospital. So just please, if that you're going to do that, be very mindful and be very smart about that. Visa mobility, like I mentioned, when you are hired by the hospital, you are covered directly by the hospital. And we have immigration lawyers that will help you through that process. That's free of charge. When you're hired by an agency, you're going to go through an EB3 skilled labor visa. Those can be capped, they can be frozen. It can take some time, right? So just be mindful about that. Waiting time overseas, like I mentioned, if you are hired directly by the hospital, because you are coming directly from a US nursing program in America, there is no waiting time. You can start working immediately after you finish and pass your NCLEX. If you are hired by the agency, it can take sometimes 14 months in many cases. You also have to pass the NCLEX exam, same thing. Plus, you have to do the visa processing. So the time that you're going to have to be waiting is going to be a lot longer, as opposed to if you can start working immediately after your NCLEX in America, you can start earning average of $80,000 that first year, as opposed to you going through an agency and having to wait. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it might look cheaper and it might look like a better route, but in the long term, because you're waiting, you might actually end up losing money because of the wait times. Employee benefits, when you are hired by a hospital, you get the same benefits as every other US citizen nurse that is hired by that hospital. Okay? When you are hired by an agency, you only get the benefits that the agency provides to you. You do not get access to the same benefits the hospital provides to you. Job outcome, of course, when you are coming from a US educational institution, hospitals are more familiar with that. But that's not to say that your education, your nursing, your bachelor's of nursing and science in the Philippines is not as good. Philippines has amazing, amazing nursing programs. I've very, very impressive. The only difference is they're done in the Philippines, right? So the route to employment is going to look different. So again, if you're very well trained in the Philippines, this 12-month program might just be really easy for you to complete, because Philippines does have some really great nursing programs. So just keep that in mind. So just to kind of give you an idea, the original amount with a scholarship to study in Oklahoma is going to be $23,560. In Oklahoma, if you decide to stay there, the national average salary for a nurse in the US is $80,000, but in Oklahoma is going to be around $66,000, because Oklahoma is a cheaper state. But just to kind of give you an idea, you decide to stay, work there, you're still making $66,000, is still above the average medium salary for even an American. I actually recently read this. In the US, the average American makes $50,000 a year. So just to kind of give you an idea, even in the cheapest state, you're still making more money than the average American in terms of the salaries. So the salaries are very good. your average monthly post-tax, that means before tax, I'm sorry, yeah, before tax is 3,897 a month that you're going to be taking. So even with the average salary in a cheaper state like Oklahoma, within the first year, you would have already paid yourself back because you paid 23,000 in that first year. Your return of investment was 66,000. And if you move to maybe a little bit more expensive state, like New York, Massachusetts, even here, Florida, I'm currently in Miami. Miami's a more expensive city. The average nurses here in New York and Boston, they're going to be making between $80,000 to $100,000 a year. So again, even very, very on the lower end, cheaper state, you would have already paid yourself back the first year, and you're still be making more salary than what the average person in the U.S. makes. So just to show you what an amazing opportunity, not many degrees. And I've been in education for going on 8 years now. I can tell you that not many degrees are going to immediately pay your investment back the first year the way the nursing is. It usually takes a couple of years, to kind of build up your career to the point that you want it to. Nursing is one of those careers that literally starts paying you back immediately. So that's a really good thing, an amazing opportunity to keep in mind. Like I mentioned, once you've been a more seasoned nurse, then the average annual salary is going to be around $93,000. So still almost twice as much as the average American is making. So once you've been, your salary will continue to go up. This is what we're trying to say, from 66 to around 93 with more experience, more specialty. There's nothing but potential, really. And I've known nurses who make more than 93. I know traveling nurses and nurses that really focus on a certain specialty who make more than $93,000 a year. So there's nothing but, horizons of good earning potential in this career, and it just keeps going. It's not just going to be capped at 66 or 80,000. There's opportunities to continue to make more money within nursing. So really amazing opportunity to keep in mind. So when does the program start? So the accelerated nursing program, meaning you will be in Oklahoma, is in spring 2025. So right now it's a really good opportunity to get everything done. Get your application is free. Get your Launchpad program completed, meaning get your prerequisites completed, and then you have time to work on your visa, and then you have time to go in spring 2025. We do have, and I will share also in the comments, and if somebody from the 9.09ers team could please share the application link. Please make sure you use that to submit your application. It is completely free. And if you have any other questions, we already talked about scholarships. We mentioned at the beginning, 9.09er is going to have an in-person event on June 29th. So if you wish to talk to somebody more about this program, or I will also leave my email address, you're more than happy to contact me with any direct questions that you have. That pretty much sums it up for me. I hope that you learned a lot today. I know it was a lot of information. But to sum it up, amazing opportunity to get your prerequisites, get all your stuff done in the comfort and in a much cheaper expense in your home. Come to America, study for 12 months. We will help you immediately land a job directly with the hospital, and that first year you're set to go. This is really not not a dream. It's not too good to be true. It happens all the time. If you really want to change your life and have a really good stable career with really good income, this is just a really easy, straightforward path to make that happen. No, we're not trying to sell you here a dream. it really is what it is. So thank you so much, everybody, for your time, and I hope that this was very useful for you. Thank you.
Phil Global Immigration Services Incorporated for sharing an opportunity for two immigrant visa. There are those who don't want to take their chances with H-1B lottery. So if there is an alternative program like this for you to practice your profession in the United States of America, and you need to consider, it's always best that we have plenty of options. Once a study pathway to the United States of America, do not forget to visit the booth of Phil Global come June 29 at SM Mega Mall, Mega Trade 1. Free entrance, free seminar, free one-on-one consultation. Guys, registration sandwich to the first 150 attendees. So make sure that you arrive before 12 noon. I'll also be there personally. So we hope to see all of you. Now, if you were not able to watch the Facebook live session for the very nothing to worry, because the recorded version of this one will be immediately made available at the 9.09er English Facebook page after live session next month, approximate live session. Once again, this is 9.09er English and Phil Global Immigration Services Incorporated saying thank you for your time, and we'll see you on June 29. Bye, everyone.